ready to get started with podcast number 5 or 6 with Mr. Morgan Pearson here. All right, let's get started. Welcome to another edition of the Dig Deep Podcast. Today's episode is being recorded at one of the most iconic stores in the country and the world, the one and only Boulder Running Company here in Boulder, Colorado. I'm really excited to have today's guest, an upcoming triathlon star, Mr. Morgan Pearson. Morgan, thank you very much for stopping by. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, awesome. Really looking forward to learning more about your great running career and also knowing that you're switching into triathlon. That's pretty exciting. And sorry, because we just started re-recording this thing. I made a little bit of a mess with my equipment, which is still a learning process. But so we were talking about if this is your first official podcast, and what would you say to that?
Yeah, this will be my first official podcast.
Awesome. This is really excited because, I'm a rookie podcaster. You're a rookie triathlete. So I love that.
There we go.
Yeah. Besides that, when you win the Olympics or the ATU World Championships, I'm going to be like, yep, Morgan Pearson. He stopped by at the Dig Deep Podcast first. So I'm going to have bragging rights, man. But all right, but let's really start this podcast with a very serious question initially. So can you tell us what is your Instagram handle and why is it called like that?
So my Instagram handle is Morgan Heartthrob Pearson.
Okay.
I suggest you give it a follow. And
we'll put the links at the end. Yep.
Yeah, so I had the story behind it was I would switch the middle every couple weeks. Like I had like Lone Wolf Pearson and
nice
Bad Boy Pearson. I would always change it, but then there's this movie called Place Beyond the Pines.
Okay.
And the Ryan Gosling plays this basically like badass dude.
Uh-huh.
And he had a tattoo that had Heartthrob, and I thought it was cool. So then I made it Heartthrob, and then it kind of stuck.
Yeah.
So I decided not to change it, and yeah.
How long have you had that handle now?
Well, I had another Instagram, and then I deleted it based off the advice of my college running coach.
Okay.
All this social media was a distraction, so I didn't use it for a while in college.
Yeah.
But then as one of my first races post college, it was a running race, and they were doing little bios on us, and they asked for our social media, so I decided to remake it, and
nice.
That was what, summer of 2016.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. But that's a really cool story.
Yeah. I guess.
I should come up with more creative names, but in all seriousness, just curious to learn more about your childhood. Where are you from, and do you have any favorite memory growing up? Because I know that you're from New Jersey. Is that right?
Yeah. So I was born in Washington D.C. and was in Virginia, Alexandria, Virginia, until I was 4, and then I was basically in New Jersey until college. Favorite memories. I have 3 brothers.
Cool.
So, and we were outside a lot growing up. So definitely like some of the times going outside in the woods and like maybe playing like stick fighting with my little brothers and friends. Or who knows what we'd get into.
Yeah.
Hanging out with them was probably a highlight of childhood.
Stick fighting. Is that like some kind of sword fighting? Because you just
I
have memories. I used to make my very fancy like samurai swords made out of cardboard. So.
Yeah, so we did stick fighting. Like we were Lord of the Rings fans, so we'd play stick fighting, and that was Lord of the Rings. And then we were also Star Wars fans,
of course.
And if we were playing Star Wars, we'd use like wrapping paper, the cardboard inside wrapping paper.
Yeah, of course.
So then we'd like paint it what color we wanted to be.
That's
and
awesome.
I liked being Darth Maul with the double-sided, so I'd tape 2 together.
Yeah. Okay, so is that like the character from not the first original?
Yeah, Phantom Menace. Yeah. It's the bad guy who doesn't.
Dude, I never saw that movie. Like, did you really like it?
I liked it as a kid.
Yeah,
a lot.
Not anymore.
Going back and watch, it's like a nostalgic now.
Of course.
I wouldn't say I know it's not a good movie when watching it, but I definitely still watch it.
What do you think of the new movies? Have you watched them?
Yeah, the new Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
I like the I'll just talk about the latest one to come out,
Mhm.
Last Jedi.
Yeah.
So I'll just get into detail of it. The stuff with Finn, the stormtrooper, I hated.
Yeah. Gosh, I can't remember that.
They went to
yeah.
it was like based off of Monaco, I think. They went to that planet.
Yeah.
And it just seemed out of place in the movie.
That's true.
But other than that, I thought it was an awesome movie.
Yeah. Yeah, I liked it a lot too.
That took me out of it a lot. So
yeah, it was interesting. I think there was kind of too much going on.
Yeah.
I personally liked the first one a lot. Like this scene where you see Han Solo. Oh my god. Anyway, but of course I'm much older than you.
Yeah.
So
No, I like the old ones. The originals are my favorite ones. So
wow.
yeah.
It's good to hear, man. All right, but so okay, growing up in Jersey. I mean, let me read a few highlights of your running career in high school.
Sure.
Okay, you were a New Jersey State champion in the 3,200 meters. I assume that's 400, like running on track, right?
Yeah, there's a story to that too, but
okay, yeah, I would love to hear that. Anyway, let me keep going.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
You earned All-American honors in the outdoor 2-mile run. Is that cross country?
No, that's track.
Okay, track.
Yeah.
And then you also won the Penn Relays 3,000 meter run, which I'll be honest, I wasn't very aware of it. I Google it, watch a couple of videos. Can you talk more about what the Penn Relay is?
Sure. I don't know. I don't know if it's the oldest track and field meet in the U. I don't know what the exact. There's some, but it's a pretty big track meet on the East Coast.
Okay.
And in high school, there's the mile invite. There's a 3K invite, and there's some relays, distance medley relay, and 4x8. And it's in high school. It's a pretty big deal you have to qualify for the race,
okay.
And it was always one of the biggest meets in my high school because we were 2 hours away from Philly.
Okay.
So, I won the 3K my senior year. So that was a really exciting moment for me in high school. Probably the highlight of my high school career. Yeah, and we got I didn't get it. I don't know, for anyone who knows about the Penn Relays, there's a Penn Relays wheel, but that's for the relay winners. I didn't get one, but I got a Penn Relays watch, so I still have that back home in New Jersey.
Awesome.
Yeah, so it's pretty neat.
And so, like, when did you start running, and when did you realize, I'm pretty good at this, I'm pretty fast? Just curious.
Yeah, so I started running in 7th grade. There was a cross country team.
Okay.
And I started a new school. My older brother had run cross country because my older brother would want to play football, but my mom kind of said, you're better off doing cross country because it's just like healthier.
Smart.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't remember the exact reason she told my older brother when he was in 7th grade. That was a while ago. But basically, my older brother ran cross country, and he was quite good. He was, I don't know if he was the best in the county or whatever they did in middle school. He was really good. So I looked up to him, and when I got to when there's a cross country team, I decided to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I was pretty good in middle school for I made our top 5 and kind of worked up the ranks, and then had some decent races all throughout and when I say I ran in middle school, it was maybe 2 months of running.
Okay.
and going for a 3-mile run was really long.
Yeah.
And I remember one day in 8th grade, and then in 8th grade I was the only guy on the team, which was so basically I'd run with the coach every day.
Okay.
Which was at that point I was running well for an 8th grader.
Yeah.
But I remember the one time the coach made me run 6 miles, and it was so long. So because I didn't train. I only did 2 months of it a year.
Yeah.
So it's just imagine not running for 10 months, and then
of course.
And you're also before you hit puberty, so you're just a little guy, and
of course.
But and then in high school we started, and I still did other sports outside of running, and then
that's what I was gonna ask you. You also used to swim. You were part of the club swim team from eight. 8 to 17, and then you were also an ocean rescue lifeguard. I mean, talk about building that background that will help you to compete in open water swims.
Yeah.
Right?
So swimming was kind of our first like main sport.
Okay.
You know, I mean, you see a lot of kids these days focusing on one sport from an early age, and I would say that was swimming for me.
Okay.
I remember, it was so long ago. But I remember basically crying my mom brought us to swim practice, and I cried because I didn't want to wear a Speedo because I thought it looked stupid.
Oh, of course.
And,
especially when you're that, yeah.
Yeah, and then, but basically ever since then, we go to swim practice a couple times a week, and then as you get older, you go every 6 days a week.
Right. It's funny because when I was a kid, I didn't swim as much as, you guys do here, like, but I swam there's a period of time where I swam for like 3 or 4 summers. So every summer I would go and I would just learn, something new, something different. So I ended up learning all the 4 styles, and that really, I didn't like it, initially because it was kind of a chore for me.
Yeah.
But then I remember
Still is a chore.
Yeah, but you know what? It's so great because I do triathlons too, and so I feel really, really comfortable in the water. And not only that, I think that swimming is a skill that everybody really should know. You never know when you're gonna need it, to be honest. So, and I don't know, it makes you enjoy going to the beach more.
Yeah, and that was probably the most enjoyable part of the swim team growing up. Is we would go. So we spent the summers at the beach in Spring Lake, New Jersey, and we would go. When we were younger, we were junior lifeguards, and it was almost like a summer camp, but it was like 2 hours, 3 days a week on the beach, and then a couple other days you'd compete in tournaments.
Yeah.
And so we would swim all year long, and just being able to, so between my younger brothers, my older brother and I, we'd win like we'd get all our team's points. Let's just say that.
Nice.
Which in like the open water swim and the run, swim, run, and even the paddleboard, which I don't know if it's not stand-up paddleboard, which
it's like
you're
on your knees.
You're either on your knees or laying on your stomach, but it's basically you're swimming just with a board. So
of course,
we could do that, like, so yeah. During the year, swimming was a bit of a chore. I mean, I had friends on the team, and so it was enjoyable at times.
Yeah.
But over the summer was when it was kind of awesome because we were basically killers in the junior lifeguards.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And then even when we started doing like official lifeguarding, there's still tournaments, and as a rookie, we were making the A squad. So
I love it. You know, swimming is one of those, I guess, out of the 3 sports in triathlon that I definitely need that extra support from your friends or swimming groups or do masters, just because that's how I found that I push myself to get to to points where I don't think I could do myself. So and you're right, it's a pain in the butt when you do it by yourself. So go ahead.
Oh, I mean, just talking about swimming, like I think I actually enjoy it more now, but we can talk about that later. We'll keep going through this stuff.
Yeah, no, that sounds good. Tell me.
So like in high school, our coach was quite he would just hammer us with yards.
Okay.
And now I kind of I take more of the technical approach and try to improve with technique and stuff, and learn that it's good to go easy and slow. So I think like when I started to get back into swimming, that was my big, I didn't want to be burnt out mentally from it. So actually, I was joking how it was a chore before, but I actually do enjoy it a lot right now.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So basically, you mean is like you're focusing like developing your technique better, and that makes you more efficient. Yeah, that's something that I agree. Like last year, I spent a lot of time working on my technique, and I found that it was, it was easier to go faster without too much effort.
Right.
I mean, I would still swim hard, but it was really cool, especially in open water swim. I learned to do faster strokes, and I was working on my sizing a lot, and things like that. So that was fun. So high school, running, swimming, and then go to college. Is it true that you first went to Duke
Yeah.
And then for a year, maybe.
Yeah, I went for a year.
And then you moved to Boulder. What? So a couple things. So you have a major in economics and mathematics. I think that's pretty awesome.
Thank you.
Because I don't know. I'm a business person. I don't know. I like, work with all things math and marketing. My degree is in industrial engineering, so
Oh, wow.
I enjoy that thing as well. What made you think about choosing that major?
Yeah,
as a
so
career?
When I went to Duke, I was quite unsure of what I wanted to study. I wasn't one of these people that knew, I want to be a chemistry major or English. So I tried out different classes, and I took the econ class at Duke. And yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought Duke's a hard school, and
of course,
it was a hard class, but I enjoyed it and was able. It was one of those classes where I was happy to put in the work, to study, and because I enjoyed learning it. So that's kind of how I started studying the econ. That was at Duke, and then the math came a little bit later. I was at CU. I was ahead of credits. At the end of 3 years, I was I'm almost done. I could graduate. I could have almost graduated, but I had redshirted in track already. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to do a 5th year, of course.
Yeah.
Because why wouldn't you want to do it when you
can?
Course.
Yeah.
I took a math class over the summer, and I really enjoyed that as well. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'd already taken. Well, I had calculus from high school and Calc 3 at Duke, and so it's not like I mean, you need to do some math for an econ major.
Yep.
So it's not I was starting out I'll what's this addition thing,
right?
But basically I tried some of the classes that were working towards a math major, and I also really enjoyed those.
Yeah.
So I was pretty much done with econ at that point. I had 1 or 2 more classes, and then so the second half of college I was pretty much doing the math major.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed both of them. If looking back, I wish I kind of did it the other way, math first.
Okay.
Because if I did math first, the econ would have been so easy for because.
I hear you.
So that was the biggest regret, I think. Or maybe not even math first, or just at the same time, right? But I mean, you can't plan this stuff out. So
yeah, it's so interesting when you're saying that you didn't know what you wanted to do, because for me, I thought that I wanted to go to med school because all my, uncles and aunts, my family, they were all doctors, and so that was the plan. And then after a year of trying to get in med school, because in Peru you have to academies, that prepare you to apply for this big test. Anyway, so I spent a year doing that. And that's when I realized, okay, this is not what I want to do. And in Peru, go to med school is 9 years, and then you want to focus on something specifically, another 3 years. I was and then one day I was talking with my best friend from school, and he's like, look, I just got into industrial engineering, and this is what I'm doing. It's pretty exciting. It's pretty flexible. You can focus on operations, accounting, marketing, finance. And that made me think, oh, this is kind of interesting. And that's why I ended up focusing on my background is marketing, especially for brands. So, completely different change. I remember when I thought I wanted to go to med school, it was because I didn't want to deal with numbers. And then I realized, hey, I'm not bad with numbers. I can do it. That being said, it took me an extra year to finish my career because I failed a couple of classes.
Yeah, it happens.
It would happen. So, a couple highlights of your running career at CU Boulder, okay? So you were a runner at CU's Boulder Division I track and cross-country teams. You were a 7-time All-American and a member of the 2013 and 14 NCAA cross-country national title teams. And actually, you said the 8th fastest mark for CU buff in the outdoor 5K with a time of 13:36. So that is, I made my math, so 4.3 minutes a mile. That's, or maybe more.
Let's see, that's low running force. 65s.
super fast.
Yeah, so like 4:20 for a mile.
When I think about that, and
I think
some of my friends here at the Boulder Running Store, I talk with them, super fast guys. I'm
Yeah.
like an 8-minute mile guy if I focus on. So when I see these times, I'm like, but did you enjoy, your running career in Boulder? It's a you.
Yeah, of course. It was. I mean, the running itself was awesome. The team, just being on the team with a bunch of good guys. I mean, I'm still friends with most of them, and we accomplished a lot as a team, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, it'll be lasting memories for sure.
Awesome. And so you graduated in 2016, and then you started your running career. You got sponsored by.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't sponsored right out of college.
Okay.
I was unsponsored.
Yeah.
My joke was I was an unpaid intern at professional running because
that happens.
Professional running is kind of like where's the line drawn?
Right. Right.
It's just if you run a race after college or you're a pro runner, in my eyes you're not unless you're getting paid to do it.
I agree.
But that's another conversation. But basically, yeah. So I actually went home right after I graduated.
Okay.
Or not right after, but a month after the season, after we ran. And I just, in college I spent most of the summers here training with the team for cross country, which basically what our coach wanted, and it led to a lot of success. But I missed my being home in New Jersey over the summer, spending time at the beach. So I lifeguarded over the summer with my little brothers, which was awesome. I mean, of course, I talk to my little brothers and my family, and I see them over Christmas. But it was really like just to work with them. Yeah, spend a lot of time with them. Like I think I was running a little, training I'd go out and train in the morning, but basically it was like a big break from running for me, and it was really, I think, healthy for me mentally to do that. Okay. Because I wasn't sponsored. No one really cared what I did running wise, so. Yeah, I just chose to do that, and then I came back in Boulder, and I knew I wanted to keep running after college. I thought I had, and the main reason I'll say is because I thought I'd underperformed at races. I thought I would always train a lot better than I'd race. Okay. It's hard to get sponsored as a distance. I mean, for anyone, but especially in distance running. Okay. And
why is it?
Well, I mean,
and when you say distance running, what kind of distances are you referring to? Yeah,
so in college I'd run like the 1500 meter all the way to the 10K. Okay. So like 5K would be my focus. Okay. But it's hard because there's only so many sponsorships and like there's not even a set number a year. Like if Nike or Saucony or Adidas, they're going to sponsor people that they think is going to help grow their brand, right? So I was like, my best place at nationals was like 5th. Okay. Which is pretty good, but no one really cares about 5th place in the grand scheme of things. Yeah. Especially, I do, and my coach did, and my friends did, but no shoe company is going to be sponsoring the guy that gets 5th, right? Yeah. So it's just hard, and it's really competitive at the NCAA level, and to kind of make a name for yourself, you have to be quite good. And I thought I was, but I just thought I knew I was, to be honest. I believed in myself, but I just knew I hadn't performed when it counted most. So that's why I decided to keep running after college, because I wanted to prove myself, maybe just prove to myself, maybe prove to everyone else that, I was a lot better than I had been racing. Okay. So yeah, I came back to Boulder. I started working with this coach named Tom Schwartz. He's not in Boulder, coaching remotely. Okay. And yeah, I trained hard and started working a couple different jobs to support myself. And yeah, I was able to do some races that fall and do really well, breakout races, I'd say. And yeah, I was approached by a couple different agents. Okay. The running agents, and yeah, I signed with Ray Flynn, and he helped me connect with this newer company. I mean, it's not newer. It's newer in U.S. called 361.
Yeah, I'm curious about learning more about that brand. I've seen, not very familiar. I've seen a few people running with that brand. Yeah, but we can talk about that later. Okay. So you were approached by them? Okay.
Yeah, so I was approached by them, and the great thing about the thing that I was drawn most towards them was they wanted me to stay with my coach that I'd been working. A lot of I think some of the other, there's groups around the U.S.
Yep.
And a lot, like, for example, Hoka, One One, they have a group in Flagstaff, Arizona, and then they have a group in New York.
Okay.
And most people that are sponsored by Hoka, most runners that are sponsored by Hoka are in one of those two groups.
Okay.
But 361, I mean, they were happy with me staying with my coach, staying in Boulder.
Nice.
So I kind of jumped on it, and
right.
Yeah, and then I liked their shoes as well, which was really important. Yeah, because I mean, I'd never heard of the brand, so at first I was a little bit like skeptical.
Yeah, of course.
Because a lot of times you hear these new brands and they're almost gimmicky.
Yeah.
With what they have to, like the shoes, it's
right.
like moon walking technology or something, or all this other stuff like running.
Barefoot running. Yeah,
but they sent me a couple different shoes, and I just realized they're just good running shoes.
Yeah.
And I really I was like, yeah, like these are awesome actually. So that was definitely a selling point as well. Yeah.
Cool. So I want to talk about your transition into triathlon.
Sure.
I was reading this article that you wrote a couple of days ago, I think, where you mentioned that you were recruited from running into triathlon by Barb Lindquist, which she's an ITU world champion, I think 2003, and Coach Bobby McGee, well-known endurance coach. I'm just curious, how did that happen? Like, how do you meet them, or how did that?
Yeah. So
is that how your transition to triathlon kind of started? Was that before you went to and you won age nationals?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I can talk about.
Yeah. This is
so basically, here's what happened. You might a couple of minutes ago I was talking about how I was home over the summer.
Yeah.
So that was the summer of 2016.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd say like the first time that I ever was like, triathlon is something that maybe I could be good at was during the Olympics 2016, because I remember I was watching I'd watched the distance running because I mean I was a distance runner and track runner, and then I saw I didn't watch the triathlon, but I like saw the highlights or something.
Okay.
And I mean I was like, I look a lot more like these triathlete guys than the distance runners. And I knew I had a swim background.
Yeah.
So that might have been like the first time where I was like, yeah, maybe. Like I was like, I wasn't like, I knew I wanted to run, and like I was talking about like prove myself, whatever. Yeah. But I think that was the first time where it was kind of in the back of my head of like, yeah, I'd probably be okay, and maybe I'll do it once I'm done running.
Okay.
And I at that point I was like, I'm gonna run for a couple of years anyway. Like I want to do running for as long as I can. And then the other thing that happened was it was like my last weekend home in New Jersey, and we used to do these ocean mile swims growing up, and so I just was like, I want to do one just to like do it.
Yeah.
And my little brother who swims in college, he swam in college. He just finished. He's a senior now. I mean, he's a good swimmer. He swims D3, and he's quite good for his team and stuff.
What is D3? Sorry.
D3, Division 3.
Okay, got it.
But he's a good swimmer. He hadn't been, in his defense, he hadn't been training a ton, and I was running a little bit, so I was probably in better shape than him. But he was a college swimmer. He should be beating me but basically I beat him in the ocean water swim.
Awesome.
I just sat on his feet the whole way out.
Yep.
And then when we went around the turnaround buoy, I like sprinted by him, and just it was dumb actually. I should have waited a little longer because it got so hard. Yeah. But I got like third overall and like beat my little brother who swims in college, and I was like, like maybe I'm pretty, like maybe I could, like that was open water swimming. And so like between those two things, the Olympics and be my little brother in the open water swim. That's when I
cool.
kind of started thinking about it.
Right.
But then I came back to Boulder and was like, I got really into the running and started running well.
Yeah.
But even before that, I don't remember exactly when I started talking to the USA Triathlon people. But basically my uncle told me, my uncle lives in Denver, and I'd swam with him. He came down to Boulder and like wanted to swim with me, so we just did that. And he's like, and we got dinner, and he was just like, oh yeah, like, would you ever think about doing the triathlon? And I was just like, yeah, I mean, I thought about it a little bit, but I like running. I don't want to. And like, there's other, like, running is in my eyes like
it's pure.
Yeah, exactly. And it's
so
just
triathletes are people
people
who are not great at the three.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna say it, but
I mean,
so basically, but then I kind of like did some research and emailed Barb. I was like, hey, like I don't know much about the sport, like, but basically I was like, I don't know, could I be good at this sport? I think that's what I asked. I was like, I told her what I'd run. I told her I told her I swam in high school. And that I wasn't the best swimmer in high school, but
and so did you know Barb, or was she part of USA
yes,
Triathlon?
I mean, I didn't know her at that point.
Okay.
But I met her, and then so we kind of kept a relationship, and then Bobby McGee lives in around here in Boulder. So he started recruiting me. I would say he started recruiting me a little bit more heavily because, well, we could meet and grab a coffee or grab a meal. And I mean, we did that a couple times. It wasn't like we got coffee once, and then one time my mom was in town and we got lunch together. But so I went down to they have a camp in Colorado Springs.
Okay.
And I did that over the summer.
Is that the swimming camp for runners?
Yeah, so it's all runners.
Okay.
That ran in college or we're still in college. And we swam in the pool. We did some biking as well. And yeah, they sent me a bike, which that was actually helpful for them to recruit me because it was really fun. Biking's quite enjoyable for me. So
was that camp like the intention of that camp was to see if you could have potential to be a competitive triathlete?
Yeah, they say it's not a. So I forget how many.
Excuse me. Oh yeah.
Excuse me.
Take your time.
I forget how many guys and girls there were. Maybe 4 or 5, 6 guys and 4 or 5 girls. And it's funny because they're like, "Oh yeah, this is not a tryout camp," but I still think it's a tryout camp.
Yep.
And I mean, it's a tryout for us to see if we like it, and a tryout for them to see if we're any good because they don't test us. Well, they did test us actually.
I mean, they don't tell you that
but they're looking at you, and you feel like you're in a fishbowl a little bit. I'll be honest, it wasn't the most enjoyable week of my life, but I realized like some of the stuff came pretty easy to me, and
because of the intensity or the other things.
Well, one advantage I have was it was at Colorado Springs, so it was at altitude.
Right.
And I had been in Boulder at altitude, and most of these people were coming from sea level. So some of the stuff on the bike, I just think it was not even fair for me to be.
Yeah.
Because you come from sea level to altitude, and then you start climbing hills on a bike, and it's like, it's hard, I think.
Of course.
But, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'd been swimming a little bit more at that point because I'd gotten injured in running, and I've been swimming and biking a little bit. So
that was another reason why you kind of started thinking about this triathlon thing, because
well,
you got injured.
When I got injured, that's kind of when
What happened?
It had been on my mind a little. I got a stress reaction in my first metatarsal on my left foot, and then, which shouldn't be a big injury, or shouldn't be that much time off, but the talus of my left foot also came out of place, which is a bone in your foot.
Oh, okay.
It's like a free-floating bone, and it came
painful.
out of place.
Okay.
I didn't know it was out of place.
Oh.
So my foot was basically in pain for a couple months, and I thought it was the stress reaction, and I'd seen a couple different people about it, and they were just like, "Oh yeah, it's you're not healthy yet," or whatever.
Right.
So, actually, I saw Mark Platches, who's
of course.
works right above the store, and he put it back in place, and then within it hurt for a couple more days just because I think it had been out of place for so long. But basically within like 2 weeks, I was running healthy again.
Wow.
But that was like the end of June.
Okay.
So I got injured like a year ago now.
The end of June of 2017.
Yeah, 2017. So I got injured in March?
Okay.
The end of March.
Got it.
Because I remember it was actually like right around this time last year, which is weird to think about. But because I was gonna run the Stanford Invite 10K, and I was like hot. Like I was kind of running that week, and then I got the MRI and it showed I was broken. So yeah, but so a stress reaction is like it should heal, but
right.
Basically the talus being out of place, I didn't know it was out of place. So I was out for way longer than I should have, and basically huge bummer. But here I am now, so I can't be that upset.
No, of course. So you end up going to this camp.
Yeah.
And then was that like a moment that made you think? I'm thinking about like what made you think to participate at the age group world championships in Omaha.
I mean, I could tell you exactly what happened.
Yeah.
I did that camp, and it was in Colorado Springs, and I got back, and then as soon as I got back, my girlfriend broke up with me. So I was kind of like, and I was working at this place over the summer called The Feed, and it was a great place to work for over the summer, and I started working there when I got injured, right?
Okay.
Because I had all this free time, and I wanted to make a little extra money, and I had some friends work. But basically, I was getting back healthy into running, and I didn't want to keep working there. Like it wasn't a job for a long time. But so I got back here, and my girlfriend broke up with me, and so I was kind of like lost, and
of course.
I was like, I'll just drive home to New Jersey. I'd never driven cross country back to New Jersey.
Yeah.
And then literally on the way was Nebraska, Omaha, Nebraska. It's like on the road. And the weekend I was driving back was age group nationals. So I was like, oh yeah, I'll just do it. Like, see how it goes.
I read about it. I thought it was crazy.
So, cause like I was like, I thought, and like and at that point, I was running a little bit more and swimming a little bit less and biking less because I kind of was healthy again.
Yeah. But
I was like, well, yeah, like I'll just go. No one knows who I am. I'll just show up. And I actually didn't even think it was a big deal. I thought I was like, maybe I could win. And like, I didn't think anyone would.
So for people who are not aware of this race, the age group nationals, can you tell us more about what this race is, and do you have to qualify, things like that?
So I'm probably not the best person to ask, but I'll do my best job. So age group, so in triathlon, you can be an elite, or you can call yourself a pro or pro card, or basically you can enter in elite races, whether it's like ITU, which is what I'm doing, or Ironman, like the pro fields, or there's like Olympic distance non-draft pro fields. And then there's age group races, which are anyone can enter essentially.
Yeah, right.
You just need I think you need a membership for USA Triathlon.
That's true. I always pay my Ironman membership manual. Anyway.
So age group nationals is kind of the national championship of all the non-elites.
Got it.
And there's 2 races there. There's the Olympic distance, which you do have to qualify for.
Okay.
I don't know the qualification process.
Okay.
And then there's the sprint distance, which you don't need to qualify for.
So okay.
I did the sprint.
Got it. And sprint, what are the distances again?
750-meter swim.
Okay.
20K bike.
Okay.
And 5K run.
Fast. Okay.
Yeah.
So you you decided to drive to Jersey.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, I'm gonna stop in Omaha and see how this goes. Do this race, and you end up winning the freaking race, the sprint distance, right?
Yeah.
So how did that happen? Like, and 1 and 2, like, I'm curious about your bike situation, because I know that you rode a road bike, not a time trial. I didn't know that people ride time trial bikes in sprints. I thought it was like anywhere. It was more like. But so did you have your bike or?
So. Yeah, luckily I was driving, so I just it was easy for me to put my bike in my in my car. I had a road bike at the time.
Got it.
I mean, that's still what I ride, just because I use drafting. But yeah, so these age group races are like 99 times out of 10, or 100. Excuse me, 99 times out of 100. They're non-drafting.
Okay.
Basically, you can't sit in the slipstream.
Yep.
Of another cyclist.
Yep.
You have to basically you're cutting the air all by yourself. So if you've ever, some of you might know what a time trial bike is, but basically a time trial bike you don't have a ton of control over your bike. It's not like the most stable and mobile position, but you're really aerodynamic.
Right.
So pretty much everyone at the race was in these time trial bikes because they're a lot faster when you can't draft.
Right.
Like 100 watts for the same speed type stuff. So
yeah.
But I just had a road bike, and honestly, it wasn't a big deal to me. I was just like, if I can't, I'm just doing it for fun and like maybe get my like pro card.
Right.
And so the race was, I got out second in the swim, which was kind of a surprise to me, because actually I was like, I got into the race super chill. I was like, whatever happens, happens. And then as I'm on the start pontoon, they're like, there's some like open water national champions here and all this other stuff. And I don't think that was true, because I got out second in the water like 10 seconds behind this leader, and I'm not the best swimmer now, and I definitely wasn't the best swimmer then. So maybe they won it like 25 years ago and I hadn't trained since. But yeah, I got passed on the bike by actually not that many people. Mm-hmm. It was kind of a hilly course, which helped.
Yep. Oh yeah, because you can climb better with the road bike.
Yeah, like, right. I mean, it wasn't super hilly, but there was rolling hills, so I think that helped a little, because just the road bike's a little bit more suited for climbing.
Of course.
And then a couple guys passed me, but I was just like, whatever. I also didn't really train to bike, so I wasn't super surprised by getting passed. I did pass the guy who came out in the water in front of me, so I was super proud of myself for that.
Awesome.
But he was also like 15 years old and also on a road bike. So
that's wow.
But yeah, then the run came, and I just ran those guys, which it was pretty cool because, I mean, like there's a lot of fans.
Of course.
Not fans, but basically a lot of people who had competed in the Olympic the day before came out and watched.
Right.
So just running was cool. Yeah. It was a lot more fun than I thought I'd have out running and just competing in general. So it was a good experience.
How were the first days after winning the race? I mean, did you?
Yeah, I mean, the first day I literally got in my car and drove like 12 hours that day. And then the next day I drove, or maybe it was 9 hours, and then the 9.5 the next day, or something like 10 the next day. So I was just driving, and I went back home to New Jersey. And
did that experience make you think, okay, I could probably be, pretty good, and maybe get more serious about triathlon? Or
I mean, I was already kind of thinking about switching, but I think one thing that experience did was it got me a lot more excited about it.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
Because I don't know, it just, I mean, I'll be completely honest, there's an article on this website called Slow Twitch that they interviewed me.
Yep.
And it was kind of, I mean, anytime you get stuff like that, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And like if you feel like if people care about you, it makes you feel special.
Yeah,
like, I'll be completely honest.
Yeah.
So I felt special, and
that was a great article. It was a fun article, and of course, Slow Twitch is a really popular platform.
And I didn't even know what Slow Twitch was before that, but I had and then also I'll say this, like a lot of my family, like I've been running for so long, and then I did this triathlon, and a lot of family members, whether it's like my little brothers, were kind of more interested and they were asking more questions, and like my uncle and aunt were reaching out and saying good job. So it was cool, just like for people to be excited for me. I mean,
I know.
It's not. I don't know if that's bad to admit that when someone gets excited for you, it makes you feel good about yourself.
Of course,
that's just how I was. And
you reminded me of when I ran my first marathon. So I'm from Peru. I used to live in Lima, and then I got the ticket to go to the New York City Marathon, and I remember I told my dad, hey, first marathon, New York, what do you think? And he was a little like hesitant, like no, I don't want to say unsupportive, but he was a little like, oh, do you think it's a good idea, traveling all the way to the States to do this? And anyway, I ended up doing it. And when I got back and I showed him the photos and show the experience and show him the medal, he was like so pumped.
Yeah.
Like, they kind of become even more fans of yours.
Yeah.
So, okay. So you win this race, and then I think that during the rest of 2017, you go to Arizona and start training with a different triathlon coach. Is that right?
Yeah. So I was, at that point, I still wanted to run races for 361 because I'd been injured for that time. So I was like, I did this triathlon. It's kind of a fun thing to do on my way home, but I came home over the summer to get it. Like I said, I was upset about the girlfriend thing, and just I'd gone home the summer before, and it had really benefited my running, I think, from a mental aspect.
Yep.
Being home with my family and being at the beach, somewhere that made me happy. So I was like, I'm gonna go home, spend some time with family, still train to run. I did some races. At that point I started swimming like very minimally, and biking of just a little. Like I do it, but it was mostly run training.
Mm-hmm.
So I did the races in September, came back to Colorado, and then visited this the coach. He goes by Jono Hall. He had a camp for his athletes in Colorado Springs at the Olympic Training Center.
Okay.
So with the support of USA Triathlon, and they set it up as well. Like they got me in contact with him, and they supported me to go down there. And I basically it was like a trial period.
Okay. With
this coach and this group, and it went. I got along well with the coach, and I liked everyone on the team. So
it's basically you train with the squad.
It was kind of like a try. It was almost like a visit, but it was for like almost a month.
Yep.
So I did that. Decided, I'll be honest. Like I keep saying, I'll be honest. I was scared a little,
right?
Because they were going back. They go down. Then that was the end of their season. They had one more race in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
Season ended. They had November off, and then they were going down to Phoenix, Arizona, for basically 3 months, December, January, February.
Okay.
To train for the 2018 season. And they said, you can come down, and USA Triathlon was like, we'll support you for those 3 months.
Nice.
Which sounds awesome, but, I like Boulder a lot. I've lived here for 5 years. And
right.
Yeah, I mean, it was a little intimidating, starting something brand new with people I didn't really know that well. And
right.
I basically knew I was going to be out of my comfort zone, but at the end, I think I just, I had seen I believed I could be a good triathlete, and I felt I had this, a potential in the sport.
Yep.
So, that's what I kept telling myself.
I think it's awesome. You just mentioned this before a few times, that the fact that you say that you believe in yourself. Is that something that have you always been like this, or has that belief come from other people? Like, I'm just curious about how. Tell us more about that. Because that's pretty powerful. I mean.
No, yeah, it is, and I mean, I'll be honest. Sorry.
No, this is good.
I believe in myself more as a triathlete than as a runner. And I believed in myself as a runner.
Yep.
But I think I can be a better triathlete. I think I have a really good background for it. I even joke around. I'm like, I was a good swimmer in high school. If I was that much better, I probably wouldn't have started running. So I wouldn't be here if I was that much better of a swimmer in high school. So
right.
And same with, like, if I was that much better of a runner, I probably would have never been like, I really want to switch sports all of a sudden. So, like, and I have, like, the beach and open water background. Yeah, and
right.
I mean, now that I've done the ITU stuff, I know, like, there's still a long way to go for me. I'm totally fine with that. It's not that I stopped believing in myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know I've improved. I improved a lot in running, and
Yep.
I over the course of through college and high school, and like I felt that as cliche as it sounds, like you put in the hard work and you improve.
Right.
And I got to a pretty high level in running. I wasn't making the Olympics or making world teams in track, but I was able to represent USA a couple times for running, and
That's awesome.
Get a contract. So, and I don't think I was the most talented runner. So I think if I do that with a sport that I'm probably more talented in, the sky's the limit in my head.
Yeah, of course.
So yeah, I mean that's where the belief comes from. And yeah, of course, other people telling me I could be good, or saying that they think I can be good. They're not gonna, I know nothing's guaranteed.
Yeah, of course.
Especially in sport. So
and you were talking about ITU. Let's talk about ITU. So because you just had your first ITU race mid-March. So ITU stands for International Triathlon Union. You went to
Mooloolaba.
There you go, Australia.
Yeah.
For the Mooloolaba World Cup. And you placed 7th in your first, ITU race, which is pretty impressive because I think this is your first
it was the first elite race.
Yeah. So when you joined Jono's camp or training, did you know already that you wanted to participate in this race, or
no?
Okay.
So the ITU is the basic, to just describe it from my standpoint, is it's the draft legal triathlons, the pro draft legal triathlons, and it's basically basically Olympic qualifying. Like you get points there to qualify for the Olympics.
Oh, okay.
And the Olympic race is essentially an ITU race.
Yep.
So yeah, like if that's your goal, you do ITU racing.
I see.
And it's draft legal on the bike, so you ride a road bike. But yeah, I didn't know. I just, like I said, I showed up it was one of those things. I just kind of showed up in December and tried to come with a positive attitude. But in the back of my head, I was a little bit scared of the unknown.
Yeah.
And
of course,
just this new life that I didn't know a ton about. But so I tried to show up with a positive attitude and basically put in the work, do the best I could in practice every day. And I think I didn't know what my first race would be. I figured it'd be around March.
Okay.
But there's a race in Florida. Or there's 2 races in Florida.
Okay.
They're ITU races. So I thought those might be the first one. But yeah, my coach and some of the USA Triathlon people thought I was ready to go to Australia and do Mooloolaba.
Yeah. How did that go?
And then so I got to go to Australia.
Yep.
Which was awesome. It was my first time going there.
I've never been there.
So
I love huge triathlon culture there.
Yeah,
right?
Really cool. It's the same sport, but it feels so much different competing out there. It's like, they really get excited about it. Like the whole town was really, like, they showed up to the race just to watch.
Oh, it's like it made me think of the Tour de France, like
pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't say.
No, I mean, I'm thinking like when people go to watch, the races up the mountains.
Yeah,
and,
exactly. But that was really cool for me.
Yeah.
The whole trip was really cool. But yeah, so the first race, I'll be honest, I was pretty scared.
Of course.
A lot of these guys have been at it for something like 10 years.
Yeah.
Doing this sport. There's Olympians in the field. I mean, the guy that goes 4th in the Olympics was in the field, and
wow.
Like junior world champs, and all U23 world champions, and it was just I thought I would not get as scared as I did, or I don't know if scared is the right word. I thought I would not get as nervous because I was like, there's no pressure on me, right? It's the first one.
Yeah.
No one really cares people care how I do, but no one expects me to knock it out of the park. But yeah, it wasn't that the expectation made me nervous. It was more of the unknown. I didn't really know how racing on a bike is not like racing running. You're going 50K an hour at some points with inches from
Yeah,
other
that
people
is
on
scary.
Yeah, so I was like, you practice it and you practice it, but when you're practicing with your friends and training partners, they care about you, and they're not gonna like push you into a cone. I don't know these people, so like that was probably the most intimidating part for me. And it showed in my race because I was basically hanging on the back of the front pack in the bike.
Yeah.
But hey, I mean, I learned a lot, and it was an awesome experience.
Yeah,
so.
that sounds pretty intense, like draft
Yeah.
legal type of races. So yeah, I'm gonna stay with non-drafting, please. But awesome experience. So tell us about we're about to wrap this conversation.
Yeah.
What are your plans for this year? And I assume that your goal is to qualify for the Olympics. Is that right?
Yeah, that's one of my goals. It's 2018, so it's actually not that far off, which is crazy to think about. 2 years. Wow. Yeah. So, the plan for the rest of my season, I don't know. I assume I'm going to be doing a couple more World Cups.
Okay.
I don't know if I'll be. I mean, my goal would to be doing WTS by the end of the year, which is basically like the highest level of the ITU. That's my goal is to be on in the grand final in September.
Okay.
For US qualifies 5, or you have 5 for country. So
okay.
That would be kind of one of my goals this year. But actually my main goals are just to get better at the sport.
Cool.
I mean, I'm so new to it
yeah.
And I see so many ways I can improve that like thinking about the result right now is just not even worth it for me. I see like 100 ways I can improve in the water and 1,000 ways to improve on the bike, and even my run is I want to improve that, right. Especially like it's not where I think it can be. So
yeah.
Right. Like it's just I'm learning I'm doing all this new stuff, so I knew it would take a little step backwards, but so that's my goal is just to improve really and learn as much as I can.
Yep.
And ask questions, meet people that have been doing it for a while, and see if they can bestow any knowledge on me.
Yeah. Are you still going to be in Boulder, or are you going to be traveling?
I'm not.
Or based in Boulder, I guess?
I'm not going to be based in Boulder.
Okay.
Unfortunately, because I like it here. I'm here for 2 weeks.
Okay.
I'm actually taking a little downtime right now.
Yep.
We're going back to Phoenix for April, and then after that, I'm probably gonna go to China to race.
Sweet.
And I don't know. After that, I couldn't tell you. So.
So one final question. I've heard that you're developing an app that is targeted to runners.
Yeah.
I like that because that tells me not only focus on all things triathlon, but that entrepreneurial spirit. Do you tell us more about it? I mean,
sure.
What you're working on?
Yeah, I mean, no promises when it's going to be done because it's taken a little bit longer than I had initially hoped.
Yeah.
But I'd say the way to describe it is like Yelp for runners. Basically, it's going to be like a Google Maps page with, I call it hotspots.
Yeah.
A running hotspot. So, for example, you might put a track on there, and instead of it's just the hope is that it tells everything you need to know about the track or the trail. Basically, how far you can for a track it'd be like public hours. Is there a bathroom there for you to use? Is there a water fountain?
We need that, Morgan, because I'll tell you, I haven't found any good apps or websites. That there are a couple, but I don't do Strava, for instance, and I don't know if there's they do that, something like that, but there's not enough good information.
Yeah, and it's it'll be crowdsourced. So, because when you go to a new place, what's the best way to learn about places to run? You ask people that live there and run that. Like, if someone came to Boulder, ask the locals.
Yeah, it's funny because a lot of people who come here visit town, they come here and they're like, okay, can you tell me a good trail? And it's funny that you said that it's like the Yelp for runners, because that's exactly what my wife and I do every time we go somewhere else. okay, we like craft beer a lot. So, okay, good brewery in this town or good restaurant, the reviews, so.
Yeah, the reviews is what really tells a story, right?
Right, of course.
So,
awesome.
That's my goal. One of my other goals is to make that. So
it's
in the works.
I like that you that kind of approach is awesome. Hey man,
thanks. Yeah.
I want to thank you very much for your time today, Morgan.
Yeah, thank you for your time.
Really appreciate it. Really enjoyed our conversation. I really look forward to follow your triathlon journey, my friend.
Yeah, thanks.
And for our listeners, I invite you to follow Morgan on Instagram at Morgan_heartthrob_Pearson, right?
Yeah.
All right, man. A pleasure.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thanks very much. Bye-bye.